Jason, you agree with that?
Yeah, I completely agree. But also, it's very interesting to see how is Marco Rubio winning and how is he competitive in Virginia. He's doing it the Hillary Clinton way. He's doing well with African Americans who happen to be voting in the Republican primary. He's doing well with Latino Americans who happen to be voting in the Republican primary. And in those sort of Northern Virginia counties that are basically the suburbs of Washington, D.C., he's doing very, very well. So Rubio is demonstrating that he is that general election candidate that the establishment Republicans want, but he's got to get a victory, and he has to get a victory somewhere for him to make a case.
And here's why that matters. Trump is going to be able to make the argument that he's bringing out new voters, that he is really sort of energizing this brand new base of Republicans. So his argument is, I can beat Hillary because I can get the vote out. If Rubio can say, look, I can start to go into the Democratic base with Hispanics, after all, he's a Cuban American, with African Americans, I can expand the base. He has an argument to make to the establishment. Not that it's going to be that hard of an argument to make, because the establishment is absolutely 100% petrified, terrified, aghast.
This is what is
they can't fathom what's happening.
Yeah, this is what is extraordinary, okay, to the rest of the world, is that you have a man here, first of all, who's never had any experience in politics. He's running away with this nomination at the moment.
Fingers.
I haven't got enough fingers. His party, the Central Party, hates him. I mean, but yet he's the man who's drawing in the voters, and that is weird.
I think it's also very important, and we've heard from all of our correspondents across the globe, and I've heard from several friends who live abroad who have said, what is wrong with your country? Let's take a step back. Yeah. This is a primary. This is not the general election.
Right.
The people who vote in this tend to be the most diehard Republicans. Now, granted, Trump, I'm not discounting, he has struck a nerve, and a nerve that Americans have said, we've tried everything. We sent Barack Obama to Washington. He was supposed to make it all better. We tried the Tea Party. We tried Occupy Wall Street. We've tried it all, so maybe this guy can do it because he's so blunt and so unpresidential. He completely breaks the mold in the way he looks, in the way he talks, in the bigotry that he exposes. It's pretty stunning. But again, this is a primary. This is not a general election.
A niche collection of voters. It's not the great American public.
That's not to say that he couldn't win a general election.
Right.
And the bad news for Rubio in Virginia, as more precincts are coming in, he's now trailing by 6 points in Virginia. There's only 60% out. And the way that it works in the U.S. typically, and the way it's working right now in Virginia, is that the cities have reported already. So Rubio won in Alexandria, the big city outside of Washington. He didn't win much of anywhere else. A lot of the rural areas of Virginia still have not reported those totals. It's going to be a bloodbath for Trump in those regions. There's not a whole lot of support for Rubio in coal country of Virginia. So he would have to be up right now to withstand the kind of assault from the more conservative areas of Virginia in order to hold on. I don't see how he can do it. I'm obviously not calling the state for Trump here, but I don't see how he can get there.
Hampton Roads might impact that, because that tends to be a military community, and that's a nice mix of, but obviously not enough to tilt. If Richmond's already gone in, then it probably looks like Trump will take it. But again, I think if Rubio can say that he made a strong showing in Virginia, which is such a typical state for the country, I think he has a much better argument, especially if he doesn't win even one state.
Right. And the establishment is not pushing him to get out. He'll have the money. And there's even a case that's being made that all four should stay in. Because if Ted Cruz drops out, a significant portion of those are going to go to Donald Trump.
Exactly.
Ben Carson drops out. He doesn't have a whole lot. A bunch of people of Ben Carson are going to go to Donald Trump. And quickly, instead of getting 40% in places, now he's getting 50%. And now you don't have the convention to challenge him. If all four of these guys stay in and Trump comes into the convention with 40% of the delegates, now all of a sudden he doesn't have it locked up.
Can I break this down for our international audience?
Please
because these conventions sound so arcane, and you don't know when they came up with this. So basically, when you get a delegate in the Republican Party, they change the rules. When he wins a certain number of delegates, they are bound to vote for their candidate in the very first ballot. Now, they have a first vote. If he doesn't reach that magic number, that 1,237, I'm speaking about Trump, they do a vote. It's not quite a majority. All of those delegates now can vote for whoever they want. This is the establishment dream, because then they can go in and they can broker and they can do that backroom dealing, and they can say, you know what, Kasich is the only one who can beat Hillary Clinton. Everyone get on board or we're taking all your money. I mean, that's where they have the power. But if Trump gets to that 1,237 magic number, the only way the establishment can stop him, and again, keep in mind, terrified he's going to win, is if they can go to a rules committee, and stay with me, I know it sounds boring, they can disqualify some of his delegates.
Wow.
But then you don't think they'll do it?
No, I don't think they'll do it because as I've said before, and I've said this consistently, you don't want to win on a technicality. You don't want to have anybody lose on a technicality. We have this tendency sometimes to say in the United States, we speak in a bit of hyperbole, this is a crusher, this is a bloodbath, or whatever. But the honest goodness truth is this could crack the Republican Party in the United States. Legitimately. This could damage them for an entire generation if Donald Trump becomes their candidate. Because before we even get to a general election, they're going to try to stop him. And the process of trying to stop a candidate is going to cause such a disruption that this will make the conflict between Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama in 2008 seem like a pillow fight in comparison to what we might see on the Republican side.
We have, ladies and gents, a results update, and I think we're going to bring you right now. So I think we can go to Alan Fisher live in Stafford in Texas. Tell us how Trump is doing. You have news.